Hi, I'm Jay Woodwolf, and welcome to Sitting Around the Cauldron. I am here with my co host, Julie Rockwell.
Hello.
Today, Julie, we are talking about solitary versus the hive mind.
Yes. Now I will go off right off the top that um with the hive mind basically is covens that I know of. Now I know there's other groups like groves and I'm not sure what else there are for groups of people that get together in the different packs. So I just want to put that out that the other ones I'm not sure of, but I do know about covens and between that and solitaire. So,
Well, I've never been a part of a coven. What's supposed to be a coven? I've never been part of one.
right.
I've been a
I've,
part of group practice. That's a lot of fun, but it wasn't a coven. It was
right,
an open. They were open circles. Is basically what they were.
right. Well, yeah, we've experienced that together
Mm-hmm.
with like uh different paths come together, and do this form a circle. I'm not, and do ritual and stuff. But for me, I've been around people in covens. I've seen what they do, and they've been wanting me a part of it. But it's never been my path because they've all been Wiccan. And one, it's not for me because my way of thinking is not a popular one, I'm sure,
Right.
is to where I like to think outside the box. I like to think for myself, do what I feel is right for me, do my own research, do everything myself. Basically, I take accountability for my actions and what I do.
Yeah.
And what I've seen with covens, that's where I call them a hive mind. They're a reference from, I believe, yeah, Star Trek, the Borg. One mind, you have to follow everything what they say. They want everyone to be the same, you know, and they don't. What I've witnessed now might be different in some covens. I'm not saying everyone is like this, but the ones I've experienced is they don't want you thinking for yourself. You basically have to just follow the guidelines. They tell you what to think, how to be, how to practice,
Right.
and that is not something that I believe is right. It's one
Right.
thing to have guidance and to help you along the way.
Yeah, and to have house rules, let's just say.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with having house rules. You know, um, I don't see nothing wrong with that. What I call house rules is like proper etiquette on how during your gatherings. This is what we expect.
right.
Uh, when you come together, you treat each other with respect. There's no fighting. There's no, slandering each other. There's no, none of that. There's no drama. You leave the drama at the door.
Right,
It's
exactly.
fine to have rules in place for people to follow because otherwise you're going to get,
Well, yeah,
people
all
be like, oh, I'll do what I, yep,
chaos ensues. Oh yeah. Well, it's just like when you go visit someone's home. They have their rules that you follow when
yep,
when you visit or you go to an establishment. It's common sense to me at that point to where okay, yeah,
right,
there's rules, you follow them, so be it. But when you are here's your curriculum, you have to do this. They don't want you to think outside the box
right,
and start doing research of different things from what
right.
I've witnessed.
Now, for me as a teacher, I would personally, like, if I gave somebody work to do, and they say, well, according to this, if they challenge the work, I don't mind that, but don't sit there and argue with me. Now, if you brought forth some evidence of something else, and then we can sit there and debate it. I'll debate it with my student all day long, but I'm not going to sit there and have an argument.
Right. Well, no, you can, if you're teaching somebody and they want to learn, that path, I would rather, if they have questions or, a healthy debate to what
Right,
is good because they're thinking for themselves and seeing something different or there's nothing wrong with that.
right,
Of course, you're not going to sit there and argue over something that is factual because there's no sense in it, you don't get anywhere.
right.
But I like, for me being a solitaire, I enjoy it. I have friends that is different paths. We come together, we help each other if if someone needs help,
Yeah,
and that's fine. But being a solitaire, I take on the responsibility for myself. I do my research. I any of the spells that I do, anything I yeah, okay. Having a mentor is great,
yeah.
or a friend that is knows where to look if you're stumped on something. But I don't like the fact of someone telling me this is the way it is and that's just how it is. I've noticed a
I don't.
lot
I don't
on
play that game either.
no,
I
because I've
won't play
noticed
that game.
right. It's like I've noticed a lot online when since we're doing this season of Wicca, a lot of them are turning more to solitaire because they don't like how the covens are. They want to be able to think for themselves and to expand a little bit into a different area than just Wiccan.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when I just don't watch, one video here or there. I usually will go through multiple of like 20 or so different videos, different people, all walks of life, of what they've been in. There's a lot, some of them that have been in a coven for over 20 years and how they prefer the solitaire life. They still have friends, but they would rather be on their own
Right.
than be in a group setting to where they can't think for themselves.
I like doing rituals with other people. I enjoyed that. I really don't like doing ritual by myself. I don't know why, but I really enjoyed that energy that is brought to the ritual when there's more than just you. And for me, um, I don't think the coven way would be for me. An open circle, yes. That way I could experience other people's um, practices.
Right.
And like when your son had done a bloat for everybody, I really enjoyed that. That was interesting.
Oh yeah, they really are when he does his practice and he brings it to us. I just, I love watching him in his element.
Yeah.
And I also like how he explains stuff with it. And when you have done your rituals, it's they're fascinating because it brings the group together.
Uh huh.
It's group participation, and you learn from it,
Right.
and it's enjoyable.
Right. The one thing I don't like about some people's rituals is you're just standing there. You're observing. You're not really. You're not participating. You're not really a part of it. They're
Right.
utilizing your energy for this ritual that they're only going half ass into.
But yeah, we've been a part of that, and I remember my first experience of being in a ritual and calling the quarters and doing all that. And I remember afterwards, because I was bored. It's just they did their thing, just standing there. And luckily, being in my backyard, I have so much wildlife. It kept me busy.
Yeah.
It's to where, because, and watching everyone, because and I remember asking you, I was like, is this it? And you're just like, no, this is the beginning and the end. That's all they did. They didn't do nothing else. And I'm just like, okay. And then, talking with a couple other people, they're like, no, that's not how rituals are.
No.
And I just was like, okay, so I did it a few more times with different things, thinking they would switch it up throughout the different parts of the year. It was the same thing, just a different name
Yeah.
for the different parts. And I was like, yeah, I'm done doing that. I'm done participating. I have better
There's
time sitting out.
yeah. There's no point in being part of something that you are not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I enjoy learning. I enjoy, learning the different aspects of each path, how they work. I don't want your trade secrets. I'm
Right.
not into that. I just like learning the elements of each path.
Yeah.
But it's,
And that's what's so good about the open circles is that you can go there, you can experience each other's ways, and
right,
they perform their rituals, their rites, their um, whatever you want to call them. They're basically their spiritual services, I guess,
right. Yeah.
and you can experience all of that. And also there's a lot of potential with open circles, and being that there are so many people of different paths, there's so much different knowledge floating around. You could have 5 different classes going.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, that's what I like the open because you have the chance to experience something different,
Hmm.
and but there's no ties to it. You're welcomed in, and there's no set boundaries of, oh, you have to be a part of our group to
Our way or no
participate.
way.
Yeah, and to me
Then
that
I'll hit the
is
highway.
exactly,
Bye.
some are like that, and to me that's fine if that's for you.
Right.
That's not my cup of tea.
No, mine
It's
either.
I don't like the clickiness or the inclusiveness to where you have to just this.
Right.
If you're someone else's from a different path, but they want to learn about you, and you're like, no, because you're not converting to our way, basically, and we want no part of you, then you're not worth knowing.
Yeah, that mentality right there, they need to get kicked in the nuts for that. Not my
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
That's what they want to do. If they want to have a cult practice, that let them have a cult practice.
Right. Well, even the Satanic Temple down in Detroit is open to the public.
Yeah.
I know they have a few what I've seen on videos. They have a few closed rituals for them, which is understandable,
Right.
but then they have ones to the public.
Yeah.
And I like that I'm not going to be a part of it, but they're open so people can explore, see what they're about, and be able to participate if they want. And then there's then there's certain times that it's closed for just like members only, which is understandable.
Yeah. Have something for the public, and then if you want to do something for just members only, do something with members only.
Exactly. Be open and you know be
But if you gotta,
transparent.
what do you gotta hide? Really? What do you really gotta
to me
fucking hide?
to me that is flag. That's a red flag. If you're not open to the public and willing to do some things of rituals to the public, like certain times a year, like I don't go
Summer
by
solstice.
different, well, summer solstice or Halloween. I don't go by all the names that are there. I just,
Right.
me. And certain times to where people can take the different aspects of your rituals of what you do to see how you are.
Right. If I can't see what you are doing, why do I want to learn your way?
Yeah,
Honestly.
and what I don't understand is why it's so strict. Why do you have to have everyone conform to your way?
Well, I
Makes
understand that they're all learning one tradition, and that's fine and dandy. There are initiations which are private, members only. Uh, but it's like, okay, I do understand that the whole aspect is learning one tradition. Okay, fine and dandy. But if I
right.
can't see what you are doing, that
What's going to make me want to go in there and be a
right.
part of that? Yeah.
Well,
Well,
oh, you
yeah.
can join us, but you ain't gonna see shit until after you're initiated. Really,
Yeah. And what I've learned now, I
really.
know not all Wiccans do this. I'm not going to lump everybody together. But with doing some of the research, a lot of it they say takes over a year to be initiated into it.
How do I know
And
that this
why am
is
I
the
going to
right path for me if I can't see what's going on?
exactly? And
I'm not asking to see your trade secrets. I just want to see what
what
you
really
guys do.
and
I
that's
don't want to
another
see the
thing.
initiation process. I don't want to see the private stuff. I want to see the stuff that, you know, like ritual. I want to be able to see what you're doing as
You
ritual.
want to see behind the curtain to make sure it's something that is going to be the fit for you. But there's two things though that I don't get. One is the why does it take so long to be initiated? And now I know not probably all
Education. You just can't absorb
right, but why?
knowledge
But
in one day.
I know that. But what I mean though is why a year?
And nowadays, it's from what I've learned, it's all about the person, the individual, when it comes to
We
learning. You
right.
could be initiated within a year. You could be initiated in 6 months. It just all depends on how well that person. It was a guideline to where, okay, give the person a year to learn everything that they need to know before you bring them in, type of thing.
See, to me, that wouldn't even be worth it. Now I can understand learning, but I would rather, after just say 2 months of putting in the work, it be brought in, initiated into it to be a part of it. Because if you're not initiated, so you're not in the group, you're on the outskirts for that long. What sense is it to be a part of that if they're going to keep you out for that long?
I see your point of view, but I kind of see where they're coming from. Is they want a
Yeah,
person to earn it.
yeah, but at the same time, how are they going to include you in it to where you feel a part of it, or are you going to feel excluded until you prove yourself? See, I don't like to have to prove myself to people that are gonna, I prove myself to me. I don't think I should have to prove myself to you, but that's my way of thinking. It's
Right.
no
But
path is to me is worth me having to, you know, prove myself to you. That's why I'm solitaire. I prove everything to myself because that to me
let
is
me
just
ask
what
you
important.
this.
What?
Let me ask you this. If somebody is not going to put in the work, are you going to teach them?
No, but no, I get that part. I get the thing, but not the whole length. You know, I wouldn't. Wouldn't take a year. Now, you okay?
Yeah. I was
Okay.
reading the chat on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Now I could see. Uh, how what's the word I'm looking for? A probation period. For a certain amount of time. Now that's what I'm saying though. You know, I mean, since we're talking about Wiccans, what I've read and researched and stuff, and I'm sure not every coven does the same thing. I'm
No.
just going from a little bit of, what I've researched through different covens of what their mandatory time is before you're brought in. And a lot
A
of them
year and a
are a
day
year.
was actually a guideline, but it all depends on the student. You could give them up to a year to learn what they need to learn, and
Right.
now how I would do it is I would give them a year as a now if they assimilate all that knowledge, let's say within 6 months. Yeah, I would initiate them at that point.
Right. But are you still going to bring them into the fold as they're learning to be able to be a part of the group and understand more in that? Because some of them have said no, they keep them on the outskirts and will not bring them in to be a part of the
Of
group
right, of
until they're
rituals or whatever.
well,
Now
yeah.
now for me, um like if they decide to take um that that leap of faith, let's just call it. I don't know what
Right.
the hell else to call it.
Yeah.
But if they decide to take that leap of faith, yeah, they're going through classes, they're going to be learning some stuff. They will participate in rituals. However, they won't have voting rights until
Right.
they're initiated.
Now
They will
that
be
part
able to
I
see what we do.
right. Now that I can understand. They're still a part of it, but there's some things some benefits they're not privy to until they're become a full-fledged member.
Yeah,
that I can understand.
that's how I would do it.
Right. And that part I fully understand and would accept that one. But
Right.
the what I'm talking about is the ones that will keep them on the outskirts and don't let them be a part. It's like, what's the sense in it's like, what makes you so special
Right.
to for me to waste my time for that when I can go elsewhere and get what I need?
So Oswin, our friend Oswin, he's typing in the YouTube chat. He says, "We make students wait until after classes to be initiated. We do allow them to attend rituals and be an active participant as students. The year and a day requirement is to allow for spiritual growth. It should be understood that students are being trained to be priests and priestesses of the religion, not just a member of a coven."
Now that see, but as he's saying, they bring them in, they're a part of it, and that, I have no issues with that, because they're still being a part of it. They still feel accepted within the group.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the ones that were like, "Oh, you're gonna have to take this class, but you're not gonna attend
yeah,
our rituals. You're not gonna do this. You're not gonna do that."
exactly. And I've seen some of that by doing research, and some of them are really strict about that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that's where I get the what makes you so special.
Right.
It's there's covens, in our area, there's a few of them. So it's like, what makes you so special, you know, that I can't go to the next one and be in it and be a part of the family type of a thing
Right.
to, I don't know. It's interesting listening to a lot of people that I've researched that have been in the covens and just said no. It's not how it used to be.
Right.
It's too strict of our way of thinking, our way of doing stuff because, and you can't challenge that thing and be like, well, this is what I've read. It's not co-aligning of more of the traditional Wicca. And it's to where, because people have adapted other things into it, just say.
Right.
And then right away,
They
they
tear
don't
stuff
want,
out. They put other stuff in. They mix and match, and they're throwing in voodoo. They're throwing in Egyptian. They're throwing in. Oh, it's a melting
stuff
pot.
that shouldn't be in there. That's
Yeah.
fine on their own. Yeah. That's the one thing. I'm a big
See,
traditionalist.
See, even within traditional Wicca, the founder, Gerald Gardner, he tried to do that bullshit. He tried to bring in OTO stuff. He tried to bring in, um,
Yeah,
you know,
but Wicca still has a lot of it's still a melting pot,
yeah,
of
Dor-
different things.
Dorian Valente had to go behind him and clean up all his bullshit. And
Right. Well, yeah, but
I'm
that's what
not
I mean.
saying that
It's
man was stable because that man definitely was not stable.
a lot of them were not stable.
No,
Yeah.
but you got to be a little bit unstable to be in this stuff too.
But it's not really unstable. It's more of, let's see, how would I phrase it? Because, I'm on my own, I'm a solitaire. So, but the work that I do, it's not being unstable. It's more of creative with an open mind for what I
You can
do.
get creative with your anger too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Channeling
So
that
there's a little bit of
anger.
instability there.
No, it's more chaos. No, I'm as stable as they come. you know,
Hmm.
hey,
Hmm.
you're
I
right
can admit
along
I'm
with
slightly
me.
a little unstable over here, so just slightly.
It's not. No, I see. I don't like that word unstable. I think we're more unique than the rest.
Okay, I could go with that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know I'm weird. I'll put it that way. I'm weird.
See, I like the strange and unusual. yes, from that movie, I will quote that. But from Beetlejuice and also from Alice in Wonderland, all the best people are mad. Why be normal and think like everybody else? To
Right.
me, that's boring as hell. I'd rather think outside the box and experience new things. And that's like with my path, I have like a couple different areas that I do, and I'm not restricted to one. It's to me, that's me personally, not trying to ruffle anyone's feathers. To me, that's boring. Some people like
I
to
like to
predict.
be me. I don't want
Yeah,
to be somebody else. I'm not trying to be Jill Gardner. I'm not trying to be Ross Nichols. I'm not trying to be Aleister Crowley. I'm not trying to be Dorian
no.
Valente. I'm not trying to be Raymond Buckland. I'm not trying to be these people. I'm trying to be me.
Right. And what fits with you? Because you have a
Yeah.
couple different paths that you are venturing down, just like I am. It's
Yeah.
what calls to us. And that's why we are better off being a solitaire than, plus, in our area, there is not many like us to where we can form a close knit group, that with, are on almost a state, but
It takes
necromancy
three.
is,
I'm just saying, all it takes is three.
yeah, but, how many necromancers do you know that form a group?
None. You're the only necromancer that I've ever met.
Yeah, well, because
I've
we're
met
a
a
rare
couple of
group.
vampires down at the Witch's Ball or Convocation. I
Well,
met a
yeah.
couple of them,
Well,
but those
yeah,
are
there's the,
different.
yeah, exactly. There's the vampires and there's the different things, but, just like with the demonology necromancy that I am now doing, there's none around here either. And if there are, we're a quiet group, or like we're a quiet people.
Yeah,
We don't go out of our way because of so many stereotypes against us. You know,
yeah,
a lot of Wiccans don't believe in how we practice or how we are as a being.
right. You see, the whole like the Rick and Reed. We'll get that into more of it in another episode.
Right.
But do no harm. Now, if somebody breaks in my house, I'm gonna break into their face.
Yeah, they better get right with whatever God they,
Right.
that they worship, because you break into my house, you'll be meeting that God real quick. There
Yep.
is, there is no, oh, I'm not gonna. You do what you
I am
want.
going to, by whatever
Mm.
means it takes, I will protect my home.
Oh yeah,
I will protect me. I will protect my loved ones.
right. Oh
Now,
yeah,
there's an extent to where, like, I live in an apartment house,
right.
and there's an extent to where I will go. Like, I will look out for the property, okay? Because I live here and I live
Right.
on the property. And I
Exactly.
will look out for the property, which in turns, it helps them out.
Yes.
But I'm not going to get into my neighbors that lives in the same building. I'm not going to get into their business. I'm not going to go out of my way for them. Will I go out of my way for the protecting the property? Yes, because I live here.
Right. Well, yeah, and that makes sense. It's just like where I live, my family and my house and everything, I will protect. I I had a couple neighbors that I would have, but they passed on.
Yeah.
Now this neighborhood, I have no use for because of how they are towards me. I don't care. You can, go this person, that person, you can do whatever. I will not bat an eye because of how
Right.
I was treated. But now, as I said before, my certain couple neighbors that have passed, before they passed, I watched out for them because they knew what I was, but they treated me as an equal. They didn't look down at me because I don't go to church or I'm not a part of,
Their clique.
their clique because they all go to the same church. So it's like, yeah, okay. But when it comes to my family, oh no, or even my animals, oh, you you better just keep on walking.
All right.
It's that old saying, fuck around and find out, because I am not a forgiving person.
No, you are definitely not. I'm
No.
a forgiving person, but I don't forget.
Well, see, I will forgive certain things with
Yeah.
certain people, but but if you're not a part of my core, you burn me once, that's it.
All right.
I will
Let's
have
move
no
it
use
on.
for you. Yeah, I will have no use for you, and that'll be it.
I don't. People think forgiveness is for the other person. It really isn't. It's for
No,
you.
it's
It's
for
it's
you.
personal.
Well, yeah, you
So
don't
you
have to
can
tell the other
heal from it and
person.
move on, and
Exactly. You don't tell the other person, well, I forgive you. You don't have to do that.
no.
But you can say to yourself, because for your peace of mind, the way I always looked at it, because it took me a long time to learn this, my anger and my hostility wasn't touching the other person. It wasn't hurting them. It wasn't doing it. They weren't affected by it, but I was. My health, my mental health, and my physical health really took a toll.
Yeah.
And then when I once realized I forgave them for what happened, and I did it quietly, it's to where, because to them, they think I hate them and everything else. But for me, I've let it go. I've forgiven them. I'll always remember. I never
Right.
forget. Everyone always tells me I have an elephant brain. It's to where I can remember for everything. But I forgive people to inside.
Right. For
You
your
know,
your peace of mind, your sanity.
yes, I have to have my Zen. I cannot function without it. My world is off kilter if I don't have my internal Zen.
Hmm.
And it's funny with what I do, but I still have to have my Zen in my home, my yard, because that's where I recharge is out in my yard in nature.
Like drama, whether it's external or internal, it's not healthy for any form of magician. Whether you're a druid, you're a witch, you're a sorcerer, you're
Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
Well, no, that's why, with you always have to find a good way to release it, a healthy
Hmm.
way to release it, whether it be meditation. I love to ground. I will walk my yard and, my bare feet. I love going to the beach, just sinking my feet into that wet sand and just having it pull out all the negativity.
Well,
And you're
you got
so
two
tired.
elements right there too. You got
Yeah, the water
earth
and the
and
earth.
water.
Right.
Earth is the grounding, whereas the water is cleansing
Well, three
factor.
elements. Right.
Yeah.
And it's to where just like in my yard, I have all the elements here in my yard.
Yeah.
And it's to where I constantly utilize that. I have to recharge. And if there is a bump in the force, I fix that real quick because I have to. But when it comes to like the Wiccan, the one thing I will admit that drives me up a wall. It's well, you can't do. They take their beliefs and put it on you when not everyone follows that set of rules. It's to
No.
where now, will I do harm to someone if they don't, if it's not necessary? No, but that's my thing. When I feel it's deserved, oh, I will go after you.
Right.
But don't put your beliefs on me just because you believe in the threefold law or you believe in doing no harm. That's you. Don't put your stuff onto me because I know what I believe. I'm not forcing my way onto you.
Right. Some of that stuff is like impractical. So like we have when you take a shower, you're clearing away microscopic organisms. You're literally killing microscopic organisms. You're harming some form of life when you take a shower. So it's impractical. Where is the boundary in that?
Right. And why do you feel it's up to you to tell me what I should and shouldn't do?
Right.
Those are your beliefs. Don't put your beliefs on me.
Now
Christianity does that enough.
I'm not saying, oh, go out and do harm. No, you don't. You just don't willy nilly that shit.
Right. And
You
that's what
know,
I
if
swear they think we do. I know I'm sorry, there are some idiots out there that do,
right.
that it's like, don't, but, do I believe I, you don't harm someone just because you can,
I think one
you
of the
know,
things that is prominent, rather in most pagan traditions, I don't know about a lot of, quite a few, a good number of them, but
right.
I think that most, one of their things is balance. And you got to have that balance
Yeah.
regardless of what tradition you follow.
Right. And see, that's what I don't understand about. Now, I may have it wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. With Wicca, it's it's all the light stuff. How can you claim yourself as a witch if you don't have the balance of the dark and the light? You have to be able to walk in the middle of the line and be able to do both
Night and day.
to do witchcraft.
Yeah.
How can you claim that you're not to do that, and then you claim yourself, as Wiccans do, they claim that they're a witch? That's a whole nother subject to me. But
Yeah, yeah, that is.
but they claim that they're doing witchcraft, that they're a witch. But how can you, if you don't practice the darker parts when need be,
right.
but you're all light and fluffy and follow the white light stuff, how can you claim that you're a witch if you do
In
that?
order to know day, you have to know night.
Yeah.
In order to know light, you have to know darkness, and vice versa.
Well,
It's a
exactly.
balance.
It is. It's an
How do you
extreme
know the difference between
delicate.
good and evil if all you know is one side of the spectrum?
Well, that's just it. And it's to where doing shadow work is dark stuff. It's not light and fluffy. It's not airy. When you're
It,
digging,
you're
when you're
you're digging it. Yeah, you're digging into your own psyche and your own
right.
garbage
But
bin. Your
oh yeah.
psychic.
Now I'm sure not all Wiccans are, all light and fluffy. They do the balance, I'm sure. But what I've read and gone online, because I'm sorry, I'm not going to buy books on Wiccan or Wicca, because I'm not.
Right.
I will research what's given online and, talk with who I can, that knows a lot more than me. That's why, I'm asking
How
these
about I buy the
questions.
books and I'll give them to you to read, and then you can give them back.
If I feel inclined. That's like me giving you one of my demonotry books and being
Hey,
like,
you know what?
here,
I would probably sit there and read it because it's knowledge.
to a point. But see, it has to be, I see, I can't read things that are dry.
Yeah.
And just, this is my point of view, this is the way it has to be.
Right.
I'm like, no. Now, if there's a book that looks interesting and it has the knowledge, I will read it. But I'm not going to go out and buy it, because I'm not going to add that to my library when it's useless to me. I
Right.
will only buy things that benefit me spiritually,
Which
mentally,
makes
and
sense.
physically.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna buy something,
Like, you're
oh,
not going to
just to
go out
buy it, and
and have it
when I
sit there and
really
collect
don't need
dust.
it. Right.
Yeah.
It's just gonna. No.
That's,
It's
yeah.
that's hoarder mentality.
Yeah. And it's, you know, now there's certain books I'll buy that, I like, um, I cannot never pronounce her name, but she does like the encyclopedia of spirits, of spells. They're big, thick books, but they cover from A to Z. And it's just, of all different cultures and that stuff I will buy.
Yeah.
I'll do research on the Norse and watch videos of people that do that and have the knowledge. And then I'll talk with my son if I have a question, but I'm not going to go buy the stuff
Hmm.
because that's not my path. Just like you've bought me books, or if I see something, I'd buy it for my son, and pass it on. But I don't know. It's just
There's a couple of the dark books that you purchased that I'm actually considering.
okay. Well, you can. Oh, if I have them, You're always more than welcome
Uh,
to
um,
take a look at them.
I forgot their names, but yeah, I've considered purchasing them just to read through them. Like it piques my interest to learn it. Whether or
Right.
not I actually practice some of this stuff, I might incorporate it, but I'm not going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the book and practice it. If the book intrigues me, I will buy it just to read it to see what was in the book and to learn about it.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. Just like you did for me. Like if I have the books, and next time you come over, you can look at them to see if they're worth it for you.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to see you, like because a lot of these books are not cheap
Mm-mm.
for the darker stuff, and you have to be extremely careful of what you buy because there are some that are on that are done by the Catholics,
Yeah.
and that to me is so biased when it comes to them talking about witchcraft and this and that. It's like that's why I always research who wrote it, what the person's ooh, what the person's about.
Right.
Digidi.
But with us being not connected to covens, let's just say, that
Right.
allows us to do
Ex-
what any research that we want, explore what we want, go where we want.
and we
You know,
expand our mind and our spirituality, which is
yeah,
always a good thing, to always grow and learn and digidi, and to better yourself.
yeah,
You always want to grow as a person in every which way to enrich your life and everything else. You don't want to
hmm,
just, you know, with that. But that's just me. I'm a traditionalist. I like traditions that have been around a long time, you know, and I do a lot of ancestral work.
yeah,
I'm big with ancestors and where it comes from, and honoring them and working that way. Also, besides what else I do, and that's why I can't, for the people that want to be in covens and want to be a part of that group, hive mind, go for it. If that
yeah,
is your thing, that is your niche, do it. More power to you. But for me personally, because I've been around it, I've seen it, I've talked with them, that's not my cup of tea.
right.
I
The
don't like
coven
that.
thing isn't for me, but I enjoy the camaraderie of open circles.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah, open circles is
Group
different.
practice, I enjoy.
Well,
I
yeah.
enjoy the hell out of it, and
Well, I do
I'm
too
able
with
to
that.
still be an individual. I'm able to still be myself, and I'm able to still do my own studies, study what I want, when I want, and how I want, and practice how I want.
Right. Well, it's just like when the twice a year I get everybody that we know over to my house, and we, what
Mm,
whether people wanted to say you want to do a ritual, or my son wants to do a blow. I don't think I'm saying that right. And, I have no issues with that, but we're all coming together. We're all enjoying each other. And, if someone wants to bring up a topic, we talk about it and we
Yeah.
still do that. Now that I like, we're still all individuals. What are you reading?
Oswin was saying if a coven dictates what one can learn and can't learn, that is a huge red flag.
Yeah, and there's a lot of them out there.
There is.
Especially, though, also the red flag that I've heard, um a lot of people that were in covens saying it's a red flag if you're talking to someone and they can't tell you their quote trade secrets, because they said that's a red flag. They're like, because nowadays you can learn everything online.
Well, a lot of stuff you're not going to find online. Like, there's like, if you had a family tradition, you're not just going to
Yeah,
stick
but
it online.
no, that's family tradition. That's not Wiccan.
Right. No.
I'm talking about Wiccans. And this is coming from other Wiccans that were in a coven that went solitaire, and they say everything available is online because it's a newer religion. It's not like Egyptian, it's not a family tradition of,
Right.
just say, the from Italians or the Romani or different family things that, now those are trade secrets to, a lot of them, that I can understand. But when it's a widely known religion that is so open, what trade secrets do you really have? I'm asking because I don't know.
I don't
Because
have an answer for you. I really don't.
does Oswin? Because no, I'm generally asking, respectfully, because I'm curious, because I've seen it online, people talking that it's a
The
red
reason why
flag.
I don't have an answer for you is because I've never been part of a coven, so I don't know. So
Right.
I
But
don't want to answer
right, well, no,
something, you know.
and I can understand that, but I'm just saying, now I'm sure there's different covens with different things,
Yeah,
but I'm talking about, just since we're doing, the subject of Wicca, what trade secrets are there
right.
that you can't think when it's a new, it's less than 100 years old. I'm sorry. It's not an ancient tradition.
Wicca is really not an ancient
No,
tradition. It really
it's like
isn't.
it's less than 100 years old.
It
And
definitely
it's
is.
and nowadays everything online is so it's so easy to look up and read about it, and hear people that have been in covens that talk, and even they say there's no trade secrets, it's all open. So that's why I'm just asking, because I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe Osmond will give a little insight.
We've been talking for 53 minutes now.
Yeah, this is one of our longer ones, but it's, you know this is our normal thing when we just start talking.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is the way we've always been. But I
but
know.
we'll leave that as an open
Well,
question and for the end of the
yes.
podcast. And thank you, everybody, for joining and tuning in. Thank you for Oswald for watching and sticking with us and making some comments in chat.
Yes,
Appreciate
we
you.
really appreciate it.
All right, everyone. You have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.